You wake up one morning and everything feels heavier. The weight of the day seems more intense, and the dreams you once held now tastes like regret. You look in the mirror, and it doesn't lie anymore. It's a reflection of someone who traded their time for approval, potential for survival, and years for moments that now feel meaningless. There's this quiet panic starting to rise inside you, a whisper telling you that this isn't the life you were supposed to live, but you silence it. It's easier that way. It's easier to just scroll on your phone, keep working, laugh at jokes you don't find funny, and simply survive another day in a life that doesn't truly feel like yours. Nietzsche once said, "Your second life begins the moment you realize you have only one." Most people never realize it. They live as if they are immortal, like mistakes can be erased, dreams can be delayed indefinitely, and apologies can make up for decades of being absent from their own lives. You weren't taught to truly live. You were taught to obey, to follow paths that were already paved by others, to sacrifice your wonder for stability, and to give up your dreams in the name of survival. You were taught to confuse existing with living, but then something happens. Something cracks that illusion. Maybe it's the loss of someone you thought would be there forever, or maybe it's a betrayal so deep that it rips apart who you thought you were. Or it could just be waking up one morning and realizing you don't even recognize the person you've become. Whatever it is, it shatters the spell. For the first time, you see the truth. You don't have forever, you have now. You have whatever breath is filling your lungs in this moment. This is it. You have this fragile, beautiful, brutal chance to live fully before everything you love and everything you are disappears. And in that moment, something extraordinary happens. You're no longer afraid of failure. You're terrified of wasting the time you have left. You stop asking for permission to be yourself. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop living for applause that won't matter in the end. And you realize this truth deep down: no one is coming to save you. There's no perfect moment arriving. There's no final warning. This is it. Your life is happening right now, whether you're ready or not. Nietzsche believed that life must be lived as if you were going to live the same life over and over again, infinitely. Every choice, every mistake, every regret, every wasted second, you had to repeat today for eternity. Would you scream in agony or whisper in gratitude? The terrifying beauty of life is that it demands your full presence. It doesn't offer any guarantees, no guarantees of success, no guarantees of love, and no guarantees of a second chance. All you get is the guarantee of an ending. And yet, most people spend more time decorating their graves than building their lives. You don't have to be most people. Your second life doesn't begin when you buy a new car, change jobs, or move to a new city. It begins the moment you realize you have only one life. And that realization burns deep into your bones until you can't go back to sleep. You start living urgently, ferociously, gratefully. You start saying no to everything that shrinks you. You start saying yes to everything that ignites you. Love with both hands, forgive without bitterness, and dream without asking for permission. You stop waiting for a sign. You understand that you are the sign. Waking up was the miracle you've been waiting for. And in that sacred realization, the realization that time is your most precious and fragile possession, you are reborn. Not as someone new, but as someone who's finally decided to become real. Your second life doesn't erase the pain of the first. It honors it, it thanks it for the lessons, and then lets it go. Because you can't keep dragging the weight of the past with you and still move forward. You have to let the dead things bury themselves. You step forward, bruised, broken, imperfect, but finally alive. Because no matter how much time you think you have left, the only life that matters is the one you choose to live. You are told to dream big, but punished the moment your dreams threaten the comfort of others. You're told you can be anything, but the moment you try, you're mocked, doubted, and minimized. The world loves a dreamer as long as their dream is small, safe, and quiet. Nietzsche saw this contradiction clearly. He knew society isn't built to nourish greatness. It's built to manufacture obedience. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow, Nietzsche wrote. But what he didn't say, the darker truth that was left unsaid, is that most people never find their why. They live and die buried under everyone else's how. You're born into expectations: study, work, marry, produce, consume, obey. The blueprint is fed to you before you even learn how to speak. And before you know it, you've built a life that secretly fills you with resentment, a life designed to please people who aren't even going to live it with you. You aren't living, you're performing. Every decision, every sacrifice, every muted dream wasn't made for you, but for an invisible panel of judges who you think are watching you. You stay in jobs that drain your soul. You stay in relationships that hollow you out. You betray your own curiosity, your own fire, your own genius, all because someone somewhere might disapprove. And yet, the people you're trying to please won't even attend your funeral, wondering why you weren't happier. They'll barely remember your dreams. Nietzsche believed that to truly live, you must be willing to endure isolation, to choose your own path, even if it means walking it alone. Because greatness demands exile. Authenticity demands rebellion. The tragedy is not that people die. The tragedy is that most people never live before they die. You can feel it everywhere. The quiet desperation, the silent regret, the way people laugh too loudly at jokes that don't reach their eyes, the way they brag about promotions that cost them their peace, the way they plan vacations like they're prison breaks, desperate for just 1 week of breathing before they return to the suffocation they've chosen. This Nietzsche called the herd instinct, the mindless survival of those too afraid to think for themselves. It's safer to be accepted than to be free. It's easier to be praised for compliance than punished for authenticity, but there is a hidden cost. A soul that betrays itself to belong will rot from within. You can decorate your cage. You can paint it gold. You can pretend the bars are beautiful, but a cage is still a cage. Freedom isn't comfortable. Freedom isn't safe. Freedom demands that you become terrifyingly responsible for your own life. And that terror is what keeps most people asleep. They tell themselves, it's not the right time. Maybe next year, I'll chase my dreams after the kids grow up. I'll start living after I retire. But time doesn't negotiate. It doesn't wait. It doesn't pity your excuses. The day you realize you have only one life is the day you either wake up or stay asleep, letting the dream devour you. Nietzsche warned that if you don't confront your mortality consciously, it will confront you through regret. And regret doesn't just come as a clean wound. It festers. It poisons every memory of what could have been. You might think you have more time to delay, but look closely. How many years have already slipped past you without meaning? How many days have you lived on autopilot, doing what was expected, never questioning if it was what you truly wanted? You don't lose your life all at once. You lose it in small, invisible betrayals. A day here, a decision there, a dream postponed until it decays into a memory of what you might have been. Nietzsche didn't just offer philosophy. He offered a mirror, not to flatter you, but to terrify you into action. Because terror wakes you up. You weren't meant to be comfortable. You weren't meant to be safe. You were meant to burn with purpose, with vision, with a life so authentically yours that the thought of living anyone else's dream disgusts you. And still, the question remains, what will you do now that you know? Now that the truth has found you, the unbearable, undeniable, beautiful truth that you're running out of time. Will you shrink back into numbness? Will you rationalize your stagnation? Will you apologize for being alive? Or will you begin your second life, the life you were meant to live before fear rewrote your script? The choice isn't philosophical, it's immediate. Every second you delay is a second stolen by the herd. Every second you wait for permission is a second your soul decays. There will never be a perfect time. There will never be an ideal moment. There will never be a guarantee you won't fail. There will only ever be now, and now demands your courage. You don't wake up one day drowning in regret. It doesn't hit you like a thunderstorm. It creeps in like a slow, cold fog. It starts with a missed opportunity here, a maybe later there, a conversation you were too scared to start, a dream you were too tired to chase. At first, it seems harmless. Life still looks the same. Bills are paid, birthdays are celebrated, vacations are planned. But beneath the surface, something begins to rot. You start smiling less, even when you're supposed to be happy. You feel emptier, even when you're surrounded by people. You wake up heavier, carrying a sadness that doesn't have an explanation. This is not depression. It's not sadness. It's the slow death of a life unlived. Regret doesn't scream. It whispers. It whispers at night when the world is quiet, saying, "You could have been more." And you try to silence it. Distract yourself with scrolling, drinking, shopping, overworking. But no matter how loud the noise gets, the whisper only grows louder. Because regret isn't about the things you did. It's about the things you were too afraid to do. NZ believed that regret is a form of self-betrayal. It's the slow, painful realization that you've wasted the only miracle you were ever given, the miracle of life. You won't regret the failures. You won't regret the risks that ended badly. You'll regret the silence, the cowardice, the hours spent doubting when you should have been daring. You will regret the life you abandoned while pretending you had more time. Take a moment and look around. How many people do you know who are already dead, even though their hearts are still beating? They exist in routines they hate. They laugh at jokes they don't find funny. They celebrate milestones they don't care about. They are alive biologically, but spiritually, they are graves that walk. You can feel it when you're near them, the heavy emptiness, the invisible sadness, the desperate attempts to distract themselves from the quiet horror of their own unlived lives. This is the fate Nietzsche warned against. Not death, not pain, but a life so disconnected from truth, from purpose, that it no longer feels alive. Every day you delay becoming who you were meant to be, you feed that slow death a little more. You hand over another piece of your soul to comfort, to fear, to mediocrity. And the tragedy is that most people will never even realize what they've lost until it's far too late. Society teaches you to measure your life by numbers, your salary, your follower count, your possessions. But none of these things will hold your hand when regret starts devouring you at 3 a.m. None of these things will erase the echo of your unlived dreams. Only one thing will matter then. Did you live? Did you become what you were meant to become? Or did you die a quiet death long before your body gave out? You're not scared of dying. You're scared of dying without ever having lived. And that fear, if you are brave enough to feel it, fully can become your salvation. Because fear has two faces. There's the fear that paralyzes you, and there's the fear that wakes you up. Most people let fear keep them chained to small lives. But you have another choice. You can use that fear as fuel. Let it ignite you. Let it terrify you into movement. Let it remind you that you are running out of excuses. Nietzsche believed that life is for the courageous, for those who are willing to face the unbearable truth of their mortality, and in confronting it, find a reason to live so fiercely that death itself becomes irrelevant. So here you are, standing at the crossroads, between just existing and truly living. You can go back to sleep. You can numb yourself, pretend you have time, pretend you're happy, or you can choose the terror of waking up. You can choose to feel the weight of your unlived life pressing down on you, not to crush you, but to forge you into something unstoppable. You don't need more time. You need more courage. You don't need more motivation. You need more brutal honesty. You don't need more years. You need to stop wasting the ones you have, because the silent collapse, the slow death of the soul through regret, is preventable. But only if you're willing to make a decision most people never make, to live, not tomorrow, not next year, not when it's convenient. Now, the death of your first life doesn't come with a funeral. No one mourns it. There are no tears, no goodbyes. It dies silently the moment you realize everything you were chasing was never yours to begin with. It dies when you stop trying to impress people who don't even know themselves. It dies when you stop apologizing for being different, difficult, real. It dies when you finally accept that the old Eutho, one who played small to survive us, never coming back. And in that silence, you are reborn, not into perfection, not into certainty, but into freedom. Your second life is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. It's not about being faster, richer, louder. It's about being truer. You will be misunderstood. You will be rejected. You will lose people you once thought you couldn't live without. But you will find yourself, and that's a trade worth making 1,000 times over. The world will not applaud you for choosing yourself. It will resent you, because every step you take into authenticity will remind them of the steps they were too afraid to take. You will threaten their comfort just by existing freely. Let them be uncomfortable. You are not here to fit their mold. You are not here to make them feel better about staying small. You are here to burn, to blaze through your time with a fierceness that leaves no doubt that you were here. Truly here, Nietzsche believed that the greatest sin is not suffering, it's mediocrity. It's a life half-lived dreams, half-dreamed, a soul half-awake. Your second life demands the full version of you. The one who dares. The one who speaks truth even when their voice shakes. The one who stands alone if necessary, rather than kneeling in a crowd. Living your second life will not be easy. There will be days when you question everything. There will be days when fear feels louder than hope. There will be days when it would be easier to go back to sleep. But remember this: pain is temporary. Regret is eternal. You can heal from the wounds of risk. You can't heal from the ache of never having tried. Every step you take into your second life will hurt. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're shedding the skin of a life that was quietly killing you. You will grieve the old youth, the one who tolerated disrespect, the one who watered dead gardens, the one who apologized for shining, but you will rise, not because you are fearless, but because you finally understand that fear is not a reason to stop. It's a reason to run faster. If you knew you had only 1 year left, truly knew it, would you waste another second playing small? Would you stop explaining your worth? Would you stop shrinking to be digestible? Would you stop waiting for someone else to tell you that it's okay to live fully? You would live with urgency, with gratitude, with savage, unapologetic wonder. You would love the people who set your soul on fire. You would leave the places that made you forget your own name. You would chase the dreams that terrify you, because those are the only ones worth having. And you wouldn't waste a single heartbeat asking for permission. Your second life begins not when circumstances change, not when people change, not when the world finally understands you. It begins the moment you change, the moment you decide, fully, fiercely, and finally, that you are done surviving. You are done existing. You are ready to live, now. Even if no one applauds you, even if no one follows you, even if no one understands you. Because your first life was for them, and your second life is for you. The question is not whether you will be afraid. You will be. The question is, will you choose life anyway? Because if you don't, you will spend the rest of your existence haunted by the ghost of the life you could have lived. But if you do, if you choose to burn brightly even for just a moment, even if it costs you everything, safe and familiar, you will die with nothing left inside you but gratitude. Gratitude that you didn't leave this world without ever showing it who you truly were. Final words for you to consider. You have one life, one fragile, fleeting miracle. Stop rehearsing, stop waiting, stop surviving. Live right now. Live here. Live without apology, because your second life is waiting, and it begins the moment you stop pretending that you have time before you go. Ask yourself, if today was the only day you were guaranteed, would you still waste it pretending? Would you keep waiting for the perfect moment? Or would you choose to live fully, unapologetically, and without delay? If this video awakened something inside you, leave a comment below. Let us know, are you ready to live your second life? Not tomorrow, not someday, but today.